How many times have you closed your heart waiting for someone who wasn't even there? How many times have you shrunk yourself just to be loved, stayed silent to be forgiven, erased yourself just to avoid being left? This isn't a love story. It's the story of a soul mistaking self-abandonment for connection. And this narrative whispers why that cycle must break. Because you cannot keep living your life by someone else's heartbeat. Every time that heart goes silent, your world freezes, and you become not untangled, but more tightly knotted. Beattie said, "Codependency is when you give so much to others you forget yourself." Carl Jung might add, "Until you make the darkness conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." Codependent love is when you abandon yourself to live inside someone else. It's when you breathe through their feelings and starve in their silence. If their affection makes you feel valuable, and their absence makes you feel erased, that isn't love. That's dependency. And the cruelest part? You think it's love? In codependent dynamics, the words "I love you" often mean, "Don't be happy without me. Don't leave. I won't survive. Your joy threatens my place in your life." Because you're not really searching for a person, you're searching for meaning, and their attention feels like your only permission to exist. So no matter how wrong they treat you, you don't just forgive, you blame yourself. If they really loved me, they wouldn't do this, you say, but then quietly whisper, "Maybe I'm not lovable." That voice isn't weakness. It's the cry of your inner child, longing to be seen, while always watching over everyone else. Jung once said, "The heaviest burden a child can carry is the unlived life of the parent." Codependency doesn't begin in adulthood. It begins when a little girl tries to heal her mother's sadness, when a little boy tries to make sense of a father's absence, when a child feels valuable only when noticed and invisible when ignored. Years pass, the body grows, but that child still reaches for the same love it never received. Only now the names change. Now you call them partner. But you love them like a parent. You see yourself through their eyes. This isn't love. It's an old wound bleeding through a new chapter. Part of you still waits for them to choose you again. A text, an apology, a hug, anything that will whisper, "You're worthy." But here's the truth. No one can give that to you, and no one can take it away. Beattie wrote that the codependent constantly tries to fix the other. If I just wait long enough, they'll change. If I give more, they'll love me. If I say less, they'll stay. But this logic drains you from the inside out, because you're living inside their story and abandoning your own. You make room for their emotions while suffocating your own heart. Jung believed every person splits in two: the persona, the mask we show the world, and the shadow, the parts we hide. In codependency, you become the persona. You reshape yourself to be liked. You overgive, hoping secretly that they'll return your sense of self. But then you realize, even if they love you, you've already lost yourself. And then the question arises, who am I when they're not here? In codependent love, you often take on the role of the rescuer. You regulate everyone else's emotions until you can no longer feel your own. But here's what you forgot. You can't save anyone. You only lose yourself in the attempt. Jung said, "You cannot illuminate someone else's shadow unless you've faced your own." This journey isn't about changing them. It's about confronting yourself. And often, it begins with one simple, terrifying act: saying no. Healing doesn't begin with leaving the relationship. It begins with recognizing the dependency. Even if you stay, your role within it can change. You become a witness instead of a fixer. You create boundaries. You speak gently instead of falling silent. And most importantly, you start living for you. Beattie wrote, "Recovery is leaving their story and returning to your own." So here are 5 small but sacred steps. 1. Observe your inner voice. Is it really yours, or an echo from the past? 2. Ask yourself, is this love or just fear of being unseen? 3. Set boundaries. The place where you say no is where you begin. 4. Grieve. Mourn what you lost while trying to be loved. 5. Love, but start with yourself. The more you embrace you, the less you need to cling to others. Codependent love doesn't just tie you to someone, it pulls you away from yourself, and those ties, if left untouched, will suffocate your soul. But with awareness, courage, and compassion, they begin to loosen, and for the first time, you begin to feel at home inside your own heart. The Mirror Mind Project invites you to rebuild that home. This is not a goodbye, it's a return, and this time it's with you. If this video stirred something inside you, if it awakened a quiet feeling you'd long silenced, know that you're not alone. We all carry unsaid words and unseen parts within us, and here, together, we begin to uncover them. This wasn't an ending. It was a remembering, a small but brave step from shadow to light. If this journey touched you, don't forget to subscribe to the Mirror Mind Project. Hitting the like button helps these stories reach more hearts. And if you share your thoughts in the comments, what once felt like a lonely path becomes a shared experience. Remember, the answers were never out there. They've always been within. Be kind to yourself. Stay true to yourself. And until next time, we'll meet again here on the Mirror Mind Project.